I forgot to put the camera in. I'm so awesome. Sorry, my office has been turned upside down today because I had to redo some stuff with my computer. So, welcome everyone. Um, okay, sorry. I'm just trying to make sure that I see the chat. And I can't actually see it. Ah, and there's mouse. All right. So, you guys, this is okay, besides my cats behind in. I know. He and Badger have been at it again. So I'm trying to he's just getting healed from the last boo-boo, which I'm not sure Badger did, but you know, um so it was fun giving a cat a pill for a while. Not so much. But I know. He's a good cat. This is Mouse, if you guys don't know him. Hey, Kelsey. Hey, Jennifer. Um, so I have some interesting things I want to talk about tonight. A lot of stuff's been coming up lately. Now, we have a full moon in Gemini coming up on December 7th, right? So, when we hit this full moon in Gemini on December 7th, we are also going to be, Mars is going to be conjunct that full moon. Mm. And normally when Mars is conjunct the moon, period, we see a lot of passion, right? There's a lot of passion in like our love life and like what we're doing for a living. Hey Liz, you love Mouse? It's funny letting my kids name the cats. Although I named Badger, so that was on me. But we had Patches for a while and his brother Mouse. So hey Suzanne. So this full moon conjunct Mars is going to be pretty intense because we have a situation here. Mars it's not unhappy in Gemini, but it's not the best place. It's not the best place for Mars because when Mars is in Gemini, a lot of stuff gets revealed, you know? And when Mars is retrograde in Gemini, shit gets weird. It just does. So, I just want to point out that we do have this is a really long time for Mars to be in Gemini. Mars got almost to the end of Gemini and then retrograded back and has to go all the way back through Gemini. So Mars is going to be in Gemini until March. And he's been there since August. This is lots of fun, people. So, what we have going on here on this full moon it's really intense. There's a lot of stuff going on and but the thing is we can balance our way through this. We truly can. Um uh, because we never have like something totally bad happen without something good coming from it. Now, I realize that sounds like very Mary Poppinsy or whatever, but I don't mean it to be Pollyanna. I don't mean it to be that way. I just try to always look for something positive. I just it's a natural state for my mind because my husband, Dr. Seuss, is the one who is always like, this is never going to work. Mm, somebody has to balance that shit out. You know what I'm saying? So I really do feel like that we can balance out some of this energy because um passion has another side to it, right? Is passion. Anger is passionate. So is aggression. It's very passionate. So I want you guys to keep in mind that when we have this full moon conjunct Mars, it is not just like that passion, that pleasurable passion that we're used to seeing when we have the moon conjunct Mars, but we are experiencing full moon conjunct Mars in Gemini and Mars is retrograde. So we're going to see more aggression during this time. On the 8th, this all takes place on the 7th of December. On the 8th, we have the sun in opposition of Mars. So, there's a lot of stuff that's going on here. There's a lot of stuff that's like happening. And I think that if we just put out some like pretty decent energy that we're going to see some balance. Because I've been talking to people this week about, and I don't particularly like this term, Karen, but it's all over the internet, so I know you guys know what I'm talking about. I myself know some very lovely Karens. I have 2 friends in Denver that are named Karen. I have a couple of friends here in Georgia that are named Karen, and they're all lovely people, lovely people. But this particular energy that we're seeing can bring out the Karen. And again, I know it's a derogatory term, and I don't mean it like because I do love these, you know, I love these women that are Karens, but this is some intense energy. So I want us to try and balance that out. We cannot, it is just like when we clear a room. It's just like when we use our smudge. Hey, how about the smudge that from Carrie at La Hermosa Bruja, because she has some freaking awesome smudge. So when we use like smudge, she puts great stuff in her smudge so that we're clearing and replacing good energy. I mean, replacing it with good energy at the same time. Not all smudge does that, right? So we do have to make sure that we're mindful to when we're clearing out bad to replace it with something good, or the bad's just going to come back even worse. It's like a little gremlin. So making sure that we have that kind of balance and stuff. It also goes with our spell work. It also goes with any kind of work that you're doing. And I've been looking at stuff and I've been looking at like all these texts, these old texts that I keep squirreled away, especially the old texts that were written in Bibles and things to sort of keep it on the down low. There was a lot of stuff that was done at dawn or at dusk at sunset because they wanted the spells to be done in the light as well as the dark, because it has to have that balance. It has to be created in both times, in both the light and the dark. It has to embrace that. That's a big deal. It's it's like a couple of weeks ago when I was saying I cut cords. Now I cut both the light cords and the shadow cords from people that I'm trying to cut cords from. And I think that was something that I was forgetting for a long time. And I was like, why is this person still attached to me? But it's all negative energy because I'd not cut those cords as well. I'd only cut the cords that I remembered, like, okay, yeah, I did. There were some good times with this person, but now I really need to walk away. I really need to, like, heal. I didn't cut the shadow cords as well. It's really, really important that you have that balance. You have to cut both the shadow and the light. When we're doing a lot of spell work, doing spell work at dawn or doing spell work at dusk, right? When we still have daylight, but it's also coming into darkness. Do you see how you could have that kind of balance and having your spells go out in the day in the light as well as the night? So, sorry. Okay, now I'm gonna go and look at before I forgot, like my train of thought, because I didn't write everything down tonight. What a bad little Virgo I am, huh? Yeah. Um, Retrogrades can be nightmares, Liz, but we can also embrace them and learn something from it, like learn some big lessons from it. You know, yes, Jennifer, it is absolutely tricky. It can be a little tricky. It really can. This was divine timing. I'm such an extreme empath and a Virgo, and literally was just thinking about why am I so angry and then sad? Oh my gosh, because this energy is already here. This energy is already here. I'm Aries. I'm an Aries and my husband a Gemini. Okay. So the thing is, like, I don't feel like anybody's escaping this one. I really don't, because we had a lunar eclipse in May that did it did a number on a lot of the fixed signs. So Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius had a rough few months. And like they're just now like seeing the light at the end of that tunnel. They're just now like moving through that and going, this is they're clearing it, they're coming out of it. But that was a significant, there was a lot of placements and a lot of stuff happening in May when we had the solar and the lunar eclipse, and then we had the solar and the lunar eclipse in Scorpio just a few weeks ago. Again, it's the placements that made those eclipses as powerful as they were. I usually do a lot of work during the eclipse season. I usually do a lot of work during the eclipses. I even save water from the eclipses, but I didn't in these last eclipses. I didn't in the ones in May, and I didn't this time either, the ones in Scorpio, because there was just so much stuff going on, and especially the placements of Mars. So not digging it really. So we just have to like go, okay, we're going to embrace this and see where, how this is going to help us out, right? I think our astrology signs are important and work with our opposite signs to become more in alignment. Yes. Okay, Liz, this is really great. I'm on two different Facebook pages and I'm on two different YouTube channels. So I try to say the comments that I'm seeing because I see the comments from everybody in one thing, but you guys may not see each other's comments. So this is why I'm repeating them out loud, if you're wondering. Um, but yes, our Liz, you're absolutely right. Our astrology signs are important. Working with opposite signs, like in alignment with our past, in alignment with our past lives, in alignment with our opposite signs, in alignment with our shadow side, which honestly, I never really thought that much of until the last couple of years. And then I started seeing I really do need to be in alignment with my shadow side because it's a part of who I am. It is. So you have to be in alignment with that. And knowing yourself is a huge component to whatever energy that you're putting out. Because how many times do I have to say magic of any kind is 85% in like intention. And if my intention is not pure, nothing I put out is going to be pure. I mean, it's not. I mean, even baking bread, it's not gonna be a great, bread. It's not gonna be a great loaf if I don't have good intention with it. I know, Jennifer, aren't they great? I just love her products. I mean, I have I thought I had it right here. But again, I moved a bunch of stuff around in my office today. Yes. She doesn't know this. Carrie doesn't know this, but I was like doing stuff for my neighbors and like taking in their mail and stuff like for a couple of weeks because they were out of town. So I ordered some of Carrie's stuff and had it sent to a different address just down the street. So that she wouldn't know it was coming to me, and I reviewed her stuff. I just finished editing it, so I'm putting it out on Metaphysical Round Table and Readings at the Round Table, the reviewed. Oh my gosh. And so she didn't know it was coming to me, and she sent like all this free stuff. It's awesome. But so I got Banishment Smudge, which is just so wonderful. And this is great. And I feel like when you do stuff with banishment, you're not just banishing, when you banish someone or an energy, you're banishing the bad as well as the good. So even if they were just a total pain in the ass, or even if they just like, told a bunch of lies about you or cheated on you constantly or just was a horrible human being. I don't know what's going on with my hair tonight. Sorry. But even if they were just a horrible human being, you're banishing the bad as well as the good. So when I mean, they may have done a few things for you, right? They may have just been like available when you needed someone to pick up your mail, or available to take care of your dog when you went out of town. I'm just like throwing random things out there because I can't think of anything. But I'm telling you that you have to banish the bad with the good. I mean, that's the only way to get rid of it. And it's the only way to not call that energy back in. If that person, place, or thing changes, which how many of them really do, I'm not judging, I'm just saying. But if they change, then yes, you can invite them back into your life, right? With boundaries set up. Again, it's more spell work, and that's why I've been trying to, like, the last couple of days I've been doing more and more things at, like, right at dawn or right at sunset. So right in the light and the dark. Oh, Liz is an Aquarius going towards Pisces. Mhm. Um, Jennifer, yes. My intuition has been into overdrive, and then Suzanne said that she has been that it's just been so angry and then sad. This is really it's really doing a number on all of us, and it's just really striking my animals, because I can tell that, like, it's really intense energy with everybody, because my animals are just totally fighting. I mean, I yesterday I had to split up Badger and Mouse. They were fighting so much, and when I finally got them apart, and all I had to do was go out and shake the water bottle, and both of them were like, okay, I'm out. And so when they split up, I'm like looking at both of them to see like what kind of injuries we have or whatever. Both of them had fur in their mouth because they were biting each other so hard. And I was like, well, that's just great. I mean, am I supposed to get Propecia for cats because you people are snatching each other ball headed? So, yeah, we're dealing with it. But this energy is really intense, and we're going to probably start feeling it. I would say we're probably going to start feeling it this weekend. And in my astrology chat video, I did say that we're probably not going to be completely out of that energy until the moon really goes into Leo, which I believe is on Sunday, the 13th. So, it is. It's just, I mean, everything is heightened. Everything, we're all on, it feels like we're on red alert for some reason. So we need to balance that energy out. Like, we feel on red alert, but we need to bring it, we need to bring the red alert down a little bit. So we need to definitely balance that out. Because we don't need to be on like an adrenaline rush. Um, There was something I just saw. I need more California white sage. Oh my gosh, that's great, Jennifer. I love that stuff. But what I do like is mixing things up, because I do have a tendency to add. You guys have seen my smudge before. Oh, my flat iron's still out. And I have incense like scattered all over my desk back here because some friend of mine hit the incense, and like everything went scattered, and I was like, I was about to put that in my smudge. What is wrong with you? I mean, they're real sweet cats, but they know how to push my buttons sometimes. But you guys have seen my smudge before. Like, some of the stuff that I mix in a lot of cedar, I mix in lavender from my garden, I mix in roses that have been given to me or from my garden, rosemary, thyme. Wow, I got a lot of good stuff in here. I got some frankincense, some frankincense resin. I have a lot of stuff in mind that I mix up because I know when I'm banishing or when I'm trying to get rid of the negative energy, I need to replace it with something good so that it doesn't return, so that there's not a vacuum there, because nature abhors a vacuum. So, Again, really good stuff. I mean, seriously, Kelsey, are they not just really good at pushing buttons? They're definitely, this one especially is entertaining. So, but this is also going to help us balance our life, because the thing is, we have, when to get back to the Karen syndrome, I have a theory. It's just one theory, that some of these Karens have just been pushed beyond, they've just been pushed beyond their capacity to take anything else in. And one little thing, that's all it takes to just break them. And these could be rational, sweet women who do a lot for charities. I'm not saying that they are, but I'm not saying that they aren't. But the thing is, we have to have some balance. We can't let that energy build up in us, so that when we do have this full moon conjunct Mars, and it's all in Gemini and it's retrograde and weird shit's happening, that we just erupt and become a Karen. That's not what we need. We have to like replace that. And my friend Magali was saying this week, because I was talking to her about this, and she said, "Yes, but how are you going to balance this out? How are you going to do this?" And I was like, "Okay." So we talked about the law of attraction, saying, I'm going to go into this doctor's office, and it's going to be a pleasant visit. Like, people are going to understand me. Everything is going to go right. And because it doesn't always, right? And part of my problem is that I was like, I'm being a Karen at my kids' school or with my kids' doctors, because it's so frustrating. They keep changing their system, and I don't know how to make an appointment for them anymore. So I call to make an appointment, and that takes an hour, and they keep transferring me to the wrong place or the wrong thing, and it's a voicemail, and I have to hang up and I have to call back, and it took an hour for me to make an appointment. And I nearly lost my mind. And I literally had to stop and just be like, okay, so whose fault is this? There's nobody to blame, so there's no outlet for me, right? There's no outlet. It's not like somebody cutting me off on the highway and I can flip them off and feel better. Yeah, I'm that kind of girl. I I am that kind of girl. I am metaphysical and curse like a sailor. So don't cut me off on the highway. Now, generally, these people can't see me. Generally, they're just like, they're off being whatever kind of road warrior asshole that they're being, and I'm flipping them off. Okay. But I got my aggression out. I didn't hold it in. So I'm not going to pull up beside them and roll down my window and, have somebody make a TikTok video of me cussing at them. But the thing is, that's that's imbalance, right? These Karens, I just don't like that term. I need to think of something else. Like, I would say kitty, but there's women that call themselves kitty. Um I don't know, but these poor women that are getting labeled like this, I think that we need to like help the situation out by saying, what is it that is has been too much for them? How can we help them let this out? How can we help ourselves let that out, so that we all don't end up on a TikTok video as some Karen, because we've lost our shit over some minute thing at a Burger King or at a Target or Starbucks or Jimmy John's. I don't know. I'm just looking at this and thinking, this is so, it's so crazy, but it's real. And that's an imbalance. That's an imbalance. So I don't feel like that. I I never ever ever teach like putting curses on anyone or sending out bad energy. I never ever teach that. And you will never catch me ever talking about that, because I just don't think that's good for the human that's sending it out or the human that's receiving it, but I really, really think that it's not good for the human that's sending it out. I don't know necessarily about the like threefold rule or whatever. I just think that it's bad. I just think that it's bad for the soul. However, I think that you have to get your aggression out in a positive way, and spell work can help you do that. Not sending negativity out, not sending negativity out, but we've talked about how to, on this show at least, in the past, we've talked about how to push back negative things that are coming to you, like mirroring, mirroring and sending it back, putting a bubble around yourself, sending, just transmuting the energy and sending it back. All of those are viable things. But what if we use our aggression to make a wand? What if we use our aggression to like do those carvings? Because a lot of wands, and I make them, um, a lot of wands require some kind of passion. They require that energy to put into them, a little bit of fire. And so sometimes when I'm using my knife, not all of my wands require like a knife to be whittled on them. Some of them, I wrap twine around them. Some of them I glue things to. Sometimes just going out and searching for the pieces of wood or the pieces of branches or whatever that I use helps me to work off some of my aggression. Exercise certainly helps that. I'll say that. When I exercise, it helps me out a lot, but it's not the only part because there's another component to the aggression. It's the mental component. It's not just the physical. So sometimes just walking around in the woods to look for these branches, to look for these pieces, I find peace because I'm out in nature, and that helps me balance. So it's another strategy, but making things, getting into putting that out there, like getting it out and making things, because you can always clear the item. I again, I learned this because anytime I feel like I've put aggressive energy into something I've made, I clear the item. I make sure to get all of it out. And that way I'm not sending something to somebody. I'm not sending a present to somebody with like my negative energy or my anger, or I got stuck in traffic today and this guy pulled out in front of me. I mean, I'm not putting that energy into what I'm making. Do you see what I'm saying? We can always clear it. And the thing is, all of the stuff that I make, I clear. I mean, I think what Carrie does is she probably charges it with some pretty awesome stuff. She probably, instead of clearing it, which she probably does as well, she charges it and puts good energy on it before she sends it out. I mean, you can feel it when you get it in the mail, right? So you can do that as well. But I'm just saying that if you need to expend that energy, if you need to put, like, some of the wands I make are for fire people. I mean, or I'll put them and charge them in an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius moon. I mean, and I like to use the half moon energy. I like to do a lot of work in the half moon because again, there's a balance between that light and dark. So I charge a lot of my stuff in the full moon, in the new moon, but I do a lot of stuff in the half moon. It's just, I know. I've been doing this more and more. Like, really, in the past year, I've been doing it more and more because last summer, I went through some really weird stuff last year. And really, it carried over into this year. I'll be honest with you. But last year, I spent a lot of time and a lot of energy on my working with these retrograde energies. It was not easy. It was uncomfortable for a lot of what was going on with me. It was really uncomfortable. But the more I did it and the more things I worked with, the more things were opening up to me. The more like my intuition opened up, enjoying some new gifts that were coming in. So a lot of stuff that you do when you do embrace that retrograde energy and just say, I know this is not going to be easy, but what do I need to learn here? I will tell you that some of it did not come out completely until those planets went retrograde again this year. And a lot of stuff started coming out for me. And I was just like, oh, I didn't have to go through it again, but I went through a different thing. Like another, it was again because I was in another level, and it really changed so much. Um, Laughing so hard when they have a damn recording of this emergency call. I always think if you don't answer this call, I will need 911. Learning to work with energies and sending it back with love. Absolutely, Liz. Yes, transmuting the energies when it comes into you and it's negative, transmuting that energy and like working in that. What's wrong? Look, there's a lot of people that want to see you. Yeah, look. You want to show them the scratch on your face? Yeah, from fighting with your uncle. I know. He's really like a beanbag. He really is. He's like a big baby. So, but and it is grounding, Suzanne. It is. It's very grounding. And so it's very um so I guess we're going to do the show like this. I mean, it's just hilarious. I mean, and I'm going to laugh so hard my eyelashes are going to come off and then I'm going to be pissed. Um, oh, oh my gosh. You know what we need to do on Metaphysical Roundtable? We need to have a fur baby day where we all just post pictures. Like, I'll just, like everybody share their fur baby pictures on Metaphysical Roundtable. I know. What's the matter? He's so funny. Thank you, Liz. He's sweet. He is a sweet boy. He is strangely enough, that's the most feral of the cats. Like, there's a lot of stray cats in the neighborhood, and they all come here when they need something. And but Badger and Mouse are the ones who stayed. And so Badger's been chipped, but this one's about to be. He just doesn't know it yet. He's becoming a permanent member of the tribe. I know. But they like my office. He doesn't like going in the house, but he likes coming in my office. So I guess he's kind of an office cat. Um yes, Kelsey, I think this would be great. My to You think I'm the cat whisperer? That's awesome. I think it's my sons that draw them in. I just end up taking care of them. My family has 5 cats, all with each an English boxer. Oh, Liz, how cute! Yeah, Jasmine's right here. Can you? Hey, Jasmine. There's that tail. Yeah, and Roxy and Chase, the other 2 dogs, are in the house with Badger. Um, so how do you guys feel about this balancing energy? And I'm telling you, I'm really starting to see these women that they're capturing on TikTok in a different light. I don't know what the term is for a male Karen, a Richard. Do you get it? Like a um but they I just feel like that these women have just been pushed beyond their capacity to take anything else in. So the tiniest little thing sets them off. And that is exactly what happens to me. I mean, losing it because I can't make an appointment because the doctor's office has a new system and they haven't educated me on that yet. Well, hello, Todd. I hope Leanne's with you. And um everybody, I just want to let you know, I don't know which chat Todd is in, probably the Metaphysical Round Table one. Um but we have a football fan here that I've been pleased that my team has beaten their team. Cheers, dude. I'm a big college football fan, by the way. And he was the reason that I wore my Georgia shirt a few weeks ago for the show. Might have been a month ago that I wore my Georgia UGA shirt on the show. hmm Kelsey, see, that's the thing is that I keep things bottled up until I blow. Kelsey, please tell me you are not a please tell me you're not an Alabama fan too. Oh my gosh. Hi from Greece. I see you. But this is Todd, yeah. Um, but no, I do. I keep things bottled up, and that's not the way to go. That's not the way to go. Last year, I went into some bad habits, and there was a situation that was going on in my life, and instead of dealing with it like I normally would have, um, some people that I had put boundaries around kept telling me that I was being aggressive because I was putting boundaries up. And I was like, no, I'm not being aggressive. I just don't want you in my stuff. So this is when I worked somewhere else. And I was like, I need you to stay out of my office. I need you to stay out of my private things. And they were like, uh that's that's like aggressive behavior, that's abusive. And I went, it is not abusive, and I do want you to stay out of my stuff. So what I started doing was either locking my things up or taking everything home with me at the end of the day, which I didn't care either way. I just wanted people out of my stuff. I mean, they knew me quite well. And so they said that I was being aggressive with that. And then when there was problems with money, I like addressed it, and they said that I was being aggressive. Okay, whatever. So I decided to not handle this situation last year as direct because I didn't want it to come across as aggressive. So I started doing passive aggressive stuff, which is uncomfortable for me. That's not the way that I want to address things. And it finally just bottled up and bottled up, and about 5 months later I just unleashed and I just unloaded. The great thing is that I did it over Messenger, so I had to type it out and I had to really think about what I was saying instead of just like letting it all come out of my mouth. But it was an ugly situation, and if I had just addressed it, as we went along, it probably wouldn't have been that bad. But when you have somebody whispering in your ear, "Don't be aggressive, don't be aggressive," it's really difficult. And I, again, that's why when people cut me off on the road, and I hope if you live in Atlanta, if you live in Georgia, I hope none of you ever see me on 285 or 75, because you'll see my middle finger a lot on those highways. There's some crazy people out there. I'm like, I don't know where they got their driver's license, maybe Kmart, which is now defunct. So, but this is going to be some crazy energy next week. So I really want you guys to keep thinking about the balance when we have that full moon in Gemini conjunct Mars in retrograde in Gemini. Mars retrograde in Gemini is not the happiest thing. Okay, a lot of stuff gets revealed. The last time Mars was retrograde in Gemini, I believe, I know this was at least one of the times, was in the end of 2007, the beginning of 2008, when we had the big mortgage crisis hoopla. You remember, like, so many people had like weird mortgages that were just like interest only loans, and like, I don't know what's happening with the light in here. Um, there was just a lot of weird stuff going on with um all those mortgages at the time. That's Mars retrograde in Gemini. And I don't even think Mars was retrograde in Gemini the whole time then. It's retrograde the whole time now. And it doesn't go direct until January 12th. Check your calendars. I think it's January 12th. So we got another month and a half of this stuff. Yeah. I'm a Husker fan through and through. Nice, Kelsey. Um, oh, our NHS is under a lot of strain right now. I hope we don't lose its free health and hospital NHS hospitals. Oh, wow. Liz, I hope that I, I hope that it doesn't hit the healthcare systems, because we're in a weird place with it here in the US. I personally, uh, there's a lot of women in my family that are nurses. There's a pharmacist. There's a couple of lab techs thrown in there. Um, there's, I know there's a lot of stuff going on right now with the medical profession in this country, so it's it's disturbing. And I think that there's just a lot. They're overworked. There's not enough of them. They're relying more and more on technology to take some of the pressure off of them. But the thing is, medicine is not just technology. It's treating. It used to be treating people mind, body, and spirit, because doctors used to ask, "What is your faith? What is your belief system?" And because if you were treating somebody that was Jewish, they had a different belief system than someone that was maybe like of Christian faith. And they could help them say, okay, well, why don't you do this with your faith practice? Why don't you do this with your body? And then let's also like work on some of the stress that you may be feeling with the mind. So there was always a lot of components to medicine until really the 20th century. And then it became more about just, let's give them a pill. I know, it's crazy. The health people are striking here. The nurses should get, oh, wow. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, nurses should get better pay. I'll say that. It's a big deal. I agree, Kelsey, completely. I really do. Oh, Liz, I'm so sorry. Okay, but Liz, this is an example of Mars retrograde in Gemini. What you're dealing with, of like, um that there's nurses that are on strike, ambulance and paramedics striking. That is an example of Mars retrograde in Gemini. Things are being revealed that they've not been treated fairly. Oh god. Liz, where are you? There's been bad flu here. Um, in fact, Cobb County is so desperate for substitute teachers that some of my kids' teachers asked me if I could substitute. And I was like, "Are you serious?" So actually I'm going to talk to them to see if they want me to substitute teach. I'm not going to do it full time, but I'll pitch in. Neptune and Pisces is opposite. Okay, this is a good point. There is a gentleman from Greece, I think it's a gentleman from Greece, on YouTube, that says Neptune and Pisces is opposite Mars and Gemini as well. Yes, that is true. The thing is, Neptune just went direct. So now we have, it's kind of like gotten a little weird, because we're getting a little, I don't want to say, we're getting a little dreamy about our aspirations. So us thinking that we can take care of things very easily is gonna clash with that Mars energy. And see, the thing is, the sun is in opposition of Mars and the moon. It's just a really, it's not a good dynamic, and it makes us very scattered, it makes us very not focused, it makes it hard to keep yourself on track. So you're going to be constantly redirecting your energy towards what you're focused on, whether you're focused on the laundry, the grocery shopping, or solving the world's problems, you know. We got refugees that are crossing from France, risking their lives getting across. We're not keeping them out of this country is now suffering in the UK. Oh, yes. Okay, you're in Great Britain. You're in the UK. Oh, Liz, I'm so sorry. And see, and Jennifer saying that they have it in PA and Pennsylvania as well. This is yes. See, this is a great way to put that. Thank you so much. The person that has joined from Greece, I can't read your name appropriately. I think it's Anthony. I think. But Neptune can give inspiration, but can also make you look without logic. That is exactly right, because I call it the rose colored glasses, where Neptune going direct puts on the rose colored glasses so that we're not seeing everything very clearly. Um, and it's good for our imagination, and it's good for our faith in things, but it's not necessarily good for us facing reality in some ways. um it's very good for artists. Yes, confusions. But this next week is going to be filled with confusions. So again, Antonis, I like that name. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. I'm from the South in the United States, so I will butcher names. That's why everybody gets called Hun and Darlin most of the time. Um, this is where shopping and home deliveries really come in handy. Liz is absolutely right. This is absolutely a great time to do like shopping online, home deliveries. This is the If you have an opportunity to stay out of the mess, the melee for a few days, this would be a great time to do it. Antinous, you're not we're neck and neck here, because I've only been studying now. Next year will be like 6 years that I've been studying. We work from home anyway. Ooh, Liz is a fashion designer, you guys. I know. She'd be like, Liz, so what can you do with this? I didn't really have time to pick out my jewelry before the show because I was separating cats fighting. Um, and now one of them is laying on my heater. He likes it there. Um, but I wanted to sage more, use more salt, and stay focused on what. Yes. Okay, that's what I said. That's what I was trying to tell people in my astrology chat video that I just put out, is that this is a great time to just stay in your lane. This is a good time to mind your business and stay in your lane and say, okay, I'm just going to focus on what's right in front of me. I mean, I'm not saying ignore like your family, ignore your friend. I'm not saying ignore that. I'm saying ignore some of the drama, ignore some of the extras. I know that I get triggered very easily on the highway, so I'm going to avoid the highways next week. I know that I get triggered like when I have to shop and there's a lot of people in the store, because empaths have a problem with like pushing all of that out. And I got out of the habit of having to push out other people's energies during the pandemic, because I would be in stores and there weren't that many people in there. So it made things so much easier for me to be able to go in stores and shop because there weren't that many people in there. They were limiting the number of people that went into stores, and everybody was distant, and I loved it because everyone was distant and I wasn't, having to deal with that. But now everybody's back in full swing, and it's harder to deal with that, like, that energy creeping up on you when you feel it so close. And especially during this aggressive, crazy energy that we're gonna have next week. Yeah. I was a school bus driver for 9 years and had to stop. The energy was way too much. Yes, I can understand that. Too peoply. Yep, I get that, Jennifer. Big time we do, that's for sure. Keeping away from toxicity is key. Yes. Hey, Amber, how are you? Ignore all the drama all the time and you will have a happier life. Yes. And next week is an ideal time to do that. It is an ideal time to do that. Thank you, Amber. But I don't want you guys to think that I'm some Pollyanna and that I just go, "Oh, no, everything's going to be great." I say that more or less as a chant to remind myself that no matter what happens, it's going to be okay, one way or the other, right? I That's what I'm doing to remind myself. That's part of my, like, my internal intentions, my internal spell work. But that's why I was like, I think that doing things when we are I, I've been working uh, with this practice of magic and doing it at dawn and at dusk, because I'm embracing both the light and the dark, and just saying, "Okay, we're going to bring both of them in." Because not everything happens at night. Not everything happens during the day, right? And so it's a great way to for me, it's been a great way to keep that in balance. And remember that it's not just about you feel negativity coming to you and just sending it back. Sometimes you can use it, sometimes you can harness it and use it in a different way. Sometimes you can learn from it. Sometimes it's meant to come to you because it is learning. But I do like Amber's ignore all the drama. Stay in your lane. And the thing is, people will try to drag you into it. They'll bring drama to your door. And I've been like, when things start happening to me, I like look for people, like, who can I turn to? And actually Amber is one of them. And I've, like, asked Carrie for advice. There's a few other people that I'll ask for advice and be like, "Okay, how do I need to do this? What do I need, how do I need to handle this?" And sometimes I take their advice and sometimes I don't. But the thing is, it's like I've shared what's going on with me, and I start to feel better almost as soon as I share it. But now I really, really work with people that I trust. I'm not going to ask everyone's opinion under the sun of how I should do this spell or what I should do. I go to certain people and I say, "Hey, I need to do this, but I don't have this product. What can I use instead? What do you recommend?" Because maybe they have something similar and they use a different ingredient, they use a different component. So that's the kind of things that I'm talking about. This is this is the last thing that I'm going to leave you with, is when you share, like, balancing and sharing your energy. Sharing your energy when you're angry is sharing your energy. It is. That's been a really difficult lesson for me to learn in the last 10 months. But sharing your energy when you're angry is sharing your energy. So when we rein it back in, and I'm not saying keep all your anger to yourself, that is not what I'm saying. When we rein it back in and we bring some balance in and we use that aggression in a different way, not sending out negative spells on people, But when we use that aggression, when we use that anger in a different way, it helps us to process it so we're not holding on to it. But we're also not sharing our anger with those other people. They don't deserve it. I am so ready for this election to be over here in Georgia. Just since I've been on like live tonight, I have gotten 4 text messages because I forgot to put my damn phone up. My fault. But I've gotten 4 text messages about this election just in an hour. Mhm. Um Hey Courtney. I've been drinking way more water. Thank you for your advice. Now I know why I've been putting up higher walls last week. Yes. Yes, it is like energetically coming. You're right. Oh, again, Amber comes out with a good advice here. Find the logic in the chaos of the emotion. That is very hard for me to do, and it's such good advice. It's very hard for me to do when I am in the chaos of the emotion. It's hard for me to find the logic. So again, I've been trying to redirect it. That's why when I've been making these wands this year, because I have some projects coming up next year that I'm going to be going to and selling these wands. But when I've been making these wands, I'm putting like some of the fire wands that I'm making for like fire signs, or for people that want that energy. I've been putting in that, like, that emotion into those wands, even though I'm clearing it out later, even though I'm setting them out in the sun and in the moon, and resetting the energy of those wands so that somebody else can put their energy in. When I'm making it, when I'm creating it, I'm getting it out of me. I'm getting it out of me. I'm not trying to send it to somebody else. My gosh. I'm doing real good with stuff today. It's okay. So, but I move my arms around so much that now I'm just knocking shit down. It's great. So, but it's getting that aggression out, and that way you can see the logic in the chaos of the emotion. It's hard, and it's especially hard when we're all empaths here and we're all in it, but this next week is going to hit us hard. Many of you in this chat are already feeling it. Ooh, Amber, that's a good outlet. And like the gentleman from Greece said in YouTube, he said that this is good energy for artists. It is. Neptune going direct is good for artists. Neptune having this like this I've already forgotten. It is having I don't know if I don't think it's an opposition, but Neptune is definitely having some words with Mars right now. And it's also good for artists. It's good for that work, because you can pour the emotion into it. And look at famous artists. You can see the emotion in that photograph, in that painting, in that piece of clay. You can see the emotion in it. So yeah, art would be great. Um, Baths are wonderful cleansers. Oh my gosh. And I love my salt baths. And if you guys get the opportunity, or if you can find it, Dr. Teal's salt, I love that bubble bath. I love the body wash. I haven't been able to find the body wash as easily as I used to, but I love that body wash. I love that bubble bath because it's salt. It's amazing stuff. Amazing. So, I mean, that I've finally gotten Dr. Seuss to use that every time he takes a shower, that body wash, because that way he can get the negativity of his job off of him every time he showers. Because otherwise, it's really hard to take a shower with salt, but I can't get him to take a bath. I mean, and I'm married to another Virgo, so, you know, stubborn. That's what I'm trying to say. What did he say about Neptune and Mars? Sorry. Like, now I'm wanting to see. Because he said Neptune can give inspiration, but can also make you look without logic. Absolutely. Let me just take a look. Hang on. I'll pull the astrology up really fast because I've been watching it. Here we go. Okay, so we've got um the sun is in opposition of Mars and where is Neptune? Neptune is at a square with Mars. So Neptune is going to be square with Mars probably all next week. But Neptune goes direct, I think, this weekend. I believe it's the 3rd that Neptune goes direct. See, I start doing my shows, my recorded shows, and I do them like ahead of time. So I jump the gun and think, oh, Neptune's direct because I've already done a video about it. So it's fun. Yes, thank you, Antonis. Thank you. But yes, Neptune goes direct this Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, on the 3rd. But I already did a video about it, so in my mind, I'm like already there. This is great. I'm a Scentsy consultant and our bath soak has salt in it. Scentsy, it's Scentsy. Okay, I'm gonna look that up. I don't think I've ever used those products. Um, Body scrub can be used in showers to make a salt body scrub. I did, and he wouldn't use it. He's very picky, Amber. I mean, I'm married to another Virgo. And yes, thank you, Antonis. It is square. Neptune presents C, like alcohol, pills, drugs. Yeah, exactly. Um, but this is going to be very interesting because see we still have Saturn square Uranus. Don't forget that square has hit its peak and it is starting to back away. It is starting to get a little loose, but those are some slow moving planets. Saturn and Uranus are very slow moving planets. So we still have that square present as well. So just keep that in mind. The great thing is that on the 6th and on the 9th, we have on the 6th, we have Mercury going into Capricorn, and on the 9th, we have Venus going into Capricorn. So we do have some good stuff happening there because both of those planets in Capricorn are going to bring us like some peace and some focus. So that's going to be really good. What else was I missing? Sorry, I'm just taking a look at the oh, but right now we do have Venus and Mercury opposite in opposition of Mars. Maybe that's why I'm having a hard time talking. I mean, Mercury is my ruler. Yes, Uranus doesn't go direct until January. You're right, Antinous. He says Uranus is retrograde in Taurus. Uranus doesn't go direct until January. So right after this weekend, we'll only have Mars and Uranus retrograde, and then we have Mercury go retrograde at the end of December. Yay! Won't that be a great New Year's? We'll light some candles. We'll be fine, right? Um, but I want you guys to look at your practices. I want you to look at like your emotions. I want you to look at like everything that you've got going on, all the stuff that you feel coming in, especially as empaths, all the stuff that you feel coming in. Look at that and keep some balance. If you feel that aggression coming in, if you feel angry about something, find an outlet. Be like Amber, paint, create a wand, go out in the woods and get a twig and make your own wand. That's a great thing to do. because it's still aggression is a component of passion. Passion is like can be very exciting, it can be very pleasurable, but it also has an anger component to it. Everything has. Everything has a shadow side. Everything. We just have to learn how to live with it, and we just have to learn how to embrace it. Right? I know. So, do you guys have any questions? I just love this group. Oh my gosh. I just have to thank Carrie Rodriguez again for allowing me to stream to La Hermosa Bruja. I love the energy of the people that follow her. Y'all are freaking awesome. You rock the Casbah. Um, Jennifer, it was nice to meet you too. And Liz. But yes, I'm at Metaphysical Round Table and I have two YouTube channels actually. One of them is called Readings at the Round Table, and it's mostly just weekly zodiac readings and monthly numerology readings that I do. But there I'm also starting to share some of my shows from Metaphysical Round Table over there, like Astrology Chat and Reviewed. So if you guys like Carrie's product, make sure you watch the show that I review her stuff. I just finished editing it, so I'm probably gonna post it this weekend. But I was just like, she doesn't know, and I didn't use my name. I mean, I used another last name, so it was really so she doesn't know that I did this. I'm just gonna surprise her with the reviewed. I reviewed her products. But you guys, she sends just awesome products. This was just great. It really was. Um, it was nice to like we have people from the UK, people from Greece here. This has been wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. I love this. This has been a fun group. And my buddy Indigo Oracles is a Virgo too. Indigo Oracles. Well, I'll look that up. Do they have a channel, Indigo Oracles? I'll look. I like watching to see how other people do it. Maybe they do it a better way than me. Um, but I so appreciate you guys. I thank you so much for joining me. This has been fun. Y'all are always fun. Balance, balance, balance next week. It's gonna get crazy, but we're all going to be together on this, right? We're gonna put out some good energy to balance out some of the shit storm that's coming. That's the best I could say to do. And I love these. This is a selenite wand, a selenite knife, and then I also have the uh black obsidian that has a gold sheen on it. These are fantastic athames, by the way, and I love them. So I'll look it up, Liz. I promise. So hey, Jackie. Um, so yeah, these are fantastic. These are great athames. They're great cord cutters. Love them. It's awesome. But you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. I will see you next Thursday. And we'll be talking about something other than aggression, unless that's what we're all still feeling. But hopefully not. I'm so superstitious. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys just have the best energy. Amber, thank you so much for bringing in your advice as well. It was awesome. You guys have a great night. I will see you next week. And until then, what are we going to do? We're going to get out there and make our magic. Bye.